Hey, teacher. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for Bitcoin. I'll cover wave analysis with Elliott Waves theory and provide multiple scenarios your price may take and explain why I prefer one count over another. Let's take a look at the different possibilities. Starting here on 2-hour time frame and looking at these structures, starting from again these lows at 18th of June and around the 17.6k. The main count that we've been tracking is a count where we have this as a three-way structure into an A wave and then looking for a three-way structure coming downwards. Now for this A wave, it doesn't really matter what kind of structure you have. This can be any three-way structure, whether you have it as a WXY like so, WXY like so, or WXY like so, or even WXY like this. It does not really matter. The point is that we started the count from here and ends it in here and gives us a valid invalidation point for the retracement of that possible way B. Now for the way B, we've labeled this as a three-way structure. Again, the invalidation point that I was talking about is the 1.618 retracement of this original A wave. So yeah, that is around 12.9k. If the price gets there, then this structure is no longer valid. However, again, as we are expecting a diagonal here on C wave as well, currently, I don't think that it would make any kind of sense even to track it beyond the 1.382. So that is not too very likely for us to track even that low with this count. Now, if we are zooming in a bit and taking a look at this, the idea was that we had a three-way structure coming down into wave 1, three ways into wave 2, and then another 5-way structure into an A wave, three-way pullback, and now we would be looking for a 5-way structure coming down to complete the wave C, to complete the wave 3. Now, how I've drawn these trend lines is very important at the moment. If we are placing them like this, we have to be staying within the trend lines. We have this channel basically drawn in here, and if the price gets beyond this channel, then we have to be again modifying the diagonal possibility. There is other way where we could be placed in the wave 2 here instead, where we would have this as three waves and then this as another three-way structure, and then this would be the connector, a large connector creating a W zigzag or double zigzag here, which would be again valid as well. That I have on other counts, so I'm not overlaying it here. Now again, the overall expectation here would be dumping downwards. Now the next count that we are going to go through, again, well, we have the bull count still here. It is not very likely at all. This would have to be a contracting leading diagonal into a wave 1, WX, and Y possibly ending down here or here. It just doesn't make too much sense to me. That's why I'm not really covering it. There is of course a possibility, but it is very unlikely for me this is going to be happening. For this to happen, or be more likely to happen, is that we need to climb higher, as high as possible basically here before dumping down, to give some kind of retracement and possibility not taking out these lows. At the moment, this wave Y would be, if placed here, would be very short in time, and if we are looking at the time analysis here, comparing the time it took to create W wave, comparing that to the wave Y, we can see that it is so much smaller. It doesn't even take the third of the time. So that is generally the minimum we want to see for this to happen. So that's why I don't really like this at all. But yeah, climbing higher would be the most important thing here for this to be still alive. Now Oya had a very interesting count in which he had this is a three-way structure into an A wave, A, B, C. Now I think this has to be modified at some point into a possibility where we had like the first count that ended here, and this could be a possibility of starting something new or ending of something. Of course, if this is an ending, then it would be a wave 4 and this would be an ending diagonal. But again, this is still a valid option at the moment. Overall, what we're looking for here is again to complete this as a possible C wave, to complete the B wave here, where we had this as a sub-minute count, in which again we would have this as a WXY into 1, three-way pullback into 2, and then three ways into 3, and then again this WXY that I mentioned here ending at these highs instead of these highs, because again we can't really place it like this, because again we don't want to be seeing wicks through these trend lines on diagonals. So that's why it has way better look here on these highs. Now I can't really explain this structure over here or this low, so it has not really gone through that much, but it has wicked through. So yeah, I don't like this as much, just due to that fact. But nothing really we can do about it, and I don't think we can end a count here for the third wave. Yeah, it does not really look very good if we are doing it like this, that third wave. So yeah, that's why I still have that third here, and then fourth, and then looking for this last fifth to come down, possibly to around the trend line here that we would have, and then we would be launching up for that C wave after completing this possible wave B. Okay. Then of course the most ugly structure of them all. While valid, it is very ugly. A running flat in which we had, well, this is not even a running flat because we did not even take out this origin starts. This is just a truncated, I don't even know what this is, a truncated flat. I feel like A, B and C. C did not take out this high here. I'm not even sure if this is very valid in the sense of course wave C does not really have the minimum amount it needs to go, but again, if we are looking at RSI, we can definitely see that we had something ending here, and this is the only count that fits into that idea, saying that we had this structure as such, and then we would start something new here. And it is possible that say that this is again a wave A or something, and then we would be looking for a three-way structure coming down. At the moment, again, why I'm looking for a three-way structure is just because, again, ABC here, and we can be labeling this WXY as the second structure, labeling it as X because, again, we did not retrace enough of this move to be qualified as a flat structure. And then, yeah, the expectation is, again, three-way structure coming down. And to me, why I labeled this in a micro count or this pink count is just because if we are looking at the size basically of this W move, we can see that it is very comparable to the previous structures of these micro or these moves here. So that's why I'm labeling it as a micro count instead of sub-minutes like this. So we would be looking to create something like this overall higher time frame. Then we had Jonathan's count, which was again way more bearish, in which he had this as the wave 4 from the very highs as an impulse wave coming down, and then he had this as a 1-2, and then another possibility of having this as a 1-2. Now I think he had his wave 2 up in these highs, but I've already explained why I prefer it here, just due to the facts that it has to create a very, very ugly looking structure here. If we are still trying to respect the trend lines, it doesn't really look contracting anymore. So I feel like it is more better looking here. Now, what is this very vertical line here is the 1-to-1 in time that it took to create wave 1 here on higher time frame. Now, what that is significant is because, again, we are looking to create a smaller degree wave structure here to create a 1-2, 1-2. Now, why that is not very likely to me is, again, 1-to-1 in time. The smaller wave degrees should be created in less time than the higher time frame. So it makes it less likely that this is going to be the case. And that's why I do prefer the idea of ABC better, even now, and it is getting even better as we speak, if we want to be getting any kind of diagonal here, just because of the time element here. So I don't see us creating and completing this wave 1 before this 1-to-1 in time. So that's why it makes it less likely. Now, again, that is not saying that it is invalid. We're not, the only invalidation, well, basically taking out this high here around 22.8k, and then the other invalidation is at this high to invalidate the whole idea of having this as a wave 1 and 2. But yeah, that is just the reasonings and why I've used this 1-to-1 here. and what it really represents. But those are the higher time frame structures that I'm tracking still. Of course, during the weekdays, there's no point really looking into the higher time frames every day. That's why I'm covering the smaller time frames then, and on weekends, I try to focus on a bit more than the higher time frames as well, and show you the possibilities that we are tracking. But if you made it this far into the video, I would appreciate the likes. Link to my free Discord server in the description below, and for now I thank you for watching and hope you have an amazing rest of your day. See you in the next video. Bye bye.